All right, so you are absolutely here in the right place if you were looking for a demo of StreetText. And I'm going to go through this pretty fast because I want to spend a little bit more time with the Q&A, but really this is for anybody who is actually thinking about a trial, recently started a trial, or just looking for a quick refresher. We have find people coming back all the time just wanting to know, how do I make sense of all this? And I mean, the truth is this, the elephant in the room, everybody's on social. Everybody's spending a lot of time scrolling down their Facebook news feed and Instagram. That's kind of the two big platforms that we work within, Meta. And I mean, the easiest way to recognize that is just go on your settings right now, click on the button screen time, because it'll be about your phone. Oh, we got another person entering the meeting. Your phone will reveal to you how much time you spend every single day on it. And then it'll break down the apps. And then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm spending just as much time as I do sleeping on my phone. And that's no different than everybody in this basically North America world that we live in, right? So the elephant in the room is then, if we know they're spending the most time here, what do we do about it? How do we maximize that screen time and effectively bring value, education, service their way? And so that's going to be a two-prong approach. What we're going to show you, it's going to be involving new leads, people you've never met before, in the context of a 15-mile radius, because, for my Canadian, 25 kilometers. That is because of the Housing Discriminatory Act. We need to acknowledge that we have to expand our influence. Okay, that's just the way it is when you're working on Facebook marketing, advertising, lead gen. But what about the database you already own? What about the people that are in your CRM, in your email contact list, on your phone? Are you remarketing and retargeting to them? Because that right there is where the gold is. If you already have a database, you should be making sure that effectively you are in their face book every single day, because that's the easy part. Like, you've already spent the time generating these leads or working with those clients. Make sure you're top of mind, and you'll see a lot of that fruit come to life right away. So the ad manager itself can be frustrating. We like to call it the labyrinth of frustration and confusion. It's like, is it 5 p.m. yet? Because I need a margarita to figure this out. And the truth is, it's always changing. And it's annoying, right? It can be, but we need to make it as simple as possible, because at the end of the day, it really comes down to two things. If you're spending money on any capacity with Facebook and Instagram, what am I spending and what my cost per lead is? That's it. Simple. Remarketing and retargeting, a little bit different. We're measuring more of a reach perspective. It's like having a dynamic billboard that's constantly rotating in front of your people. Sometimes you're going to be seeing return leads come through because they're entering information to get what you're putting out there. Other times your objective is really just to keep your brand front and center. And that include video as well. So we'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. Your options really are to become an amazing expert and spend all your time as a marketer, but you wouldn't really be here if that was the case, because you'd be doing this, or maybe you'd be, that would be your full-time job. Or you'd hire a marketer. But the problem with hiring a marketer is sometimes there's not a lot of transparency there. You can't really figure out where your money's going. StreetText is a happy medium. And I really like it because you, like I said, only measuring what's truly important. And you have what you're going to see here shortly is these ready to launch ad templates. We kind of call ourselves the Netflix of ads experience for agents, because you guys know inherently you want seller leads and you want buyer leads. You want to market your listings and your open houses, and then you have some custom ideas that you want to play around with. But really, at the end of the day, it's simple. Once you put that graphic or that video out there with the combined text copy, and you go into these templates that have been tested all across North America with thousands of data points revealing an X cost per lead on average, you got a really good idea that it should be working for you. Now it's just a matter of leveraging organic and native imagery, because really you do not want to put the wrong image in a local market. Meaning, if I'm in Ontario, I'm not putting palm trees in the background, right? Or if I'm in California, I'm not using, well, I guess that's not the right thing to say, because California has pine trees and palm trees depending on where you are in the location, but you know what I'm saying. And so we really got to think about that image and that copy and develop an organic strategy that's really going to go after the market you're in. But that's as simple as it gets. And I'll show you how to actually test that within a 24-hour period to make sure this is working for you. Now, at least the lead gen side, and this would include on the remarketing side, you got to think of it as a marketing funnel. It's not just the ad itself, it's the landing pages. Some of these landing pages are organic to Facebook. It's called a Facebook lead form or a lead ad where it automatically captures name, phone number, and email up front. Other time, it's more dynamic in nature. You'll see that with our seller ads. It's capturing it almost, you'll see it shortly here. One of our main ads, one of my favorite ads, captures the address up front and then moves dynamically through the capture process, gaining trust along the way. And inside that process, automations are shooting out email, SMS, and then of course, everything comes down to your follow-up, humanizing that follow-up, making sure that there's this know, like, and trust model built. Because at the end of the day, you got to acknowledge, and I'm going to show you examples. When people are scrolling on Facebook and Instagram, they're not searching for you. They're not searching for real estate. Okay. So you're leveraging this interruption-based marketing tool. You literally are getting someone to stop that scroll. They immediately subconsciously see an image. They identify with that image. The copy around that is quickly read, and they decide in that moment, in milliseconds, if they're going to submit their information. Really, they're not seeing your tiny little photo of yourself and your name in the corner. So they're really just thinking they're getting immediately what they clicked on. Okay. So the idea then is, how do you humanize this to make sure that they actually know they're going to be working with a real person? And we're going to need to really address that for you to excel in the conversion part of this. There's a lot of ways to go after leads. We're just showing you a couple here. I would say we probably have 100, but you're going to probably work within about a half a dozen in the beginning that are really my favorite. And so the first part is just connecting your Facebook account, because you have to come in recognizing that even a trial StreetText is free, but you have to pay Facebook. That's where the ad account comes in. So you connect your ad account through Facebook business page, and then ad account. And a lot of you may be already done that, but that's the easy part that allows you to then launch ads from StreetText effectively. And then we're going to choose which ad templates we're going to work with. Some of you probably already started one or saw that there's limited function within the first part of the trial. And we do that purposely because we don't know your background and what tech stack you already have. I have to know whether or not you have IDX, and I'll explain what that means shortly for us to tap into some of these ads in a way that really just resonates with your integrity, because you don't want to give a false representation of yourself or give a bait and switch type of experience where you're like, oh, that hurts. I thought I was getting this, and now you're giving me something else. So we're going to make sure that that's the case before we open up any one of our ad templates. So this one is kind of more of a slide that kind of represents 15 miles. So you acknowledge when you go to target, you really want to get clear on where that zip code and or address is. That's going to be like the central part of that pin drop, and then see on a map what 15 miles entails. Because for sellers, you're kind of getting to this idea, where am I willing to drive north, south, east, and west for 15 miles or 25K? And for buyers, it's a little bit different. Some of the markets you're in, there's buyers not just in that 15 miles, but coming from other places, out of state, a larger region, right? That we know based on your markets, and every market's different. The split test feature is something I'll talk about a little bit more shortly, but it's kind of what we've been known for since 2015. It's splitting the audiences. I mean, so relevancy on Facebook used to be a score of 1 to 10. And really the relevancy is really how many people are clicking early and often on that particular ad that you're running. And when you're working within 15 miles, you can run 3 identical ads. Same ad copy, same image, same targeting, but you're actually splitting audiences. So I kind of tell people, like, if you ever played the game of blackjack, or any game for that matter, your chances of beating the house in Las Vegas are way higher if you play 3 hands than you play 1. Same thing on Facebook. If you want to play the game, we need to figure out how to split these audiences as often and early as possible, and then to make immediate decisions based on the splitting of those audiences on which one we're going to keep on and which one we're going to turn off. And the obvious is going to be the one with the most leads in the beginning wins, right? The not so obvious over time will be quality of information you're getting, because that's where you start developing demographics. For example, if we were targeting baby boomers because we wanted to run our downsizer ad, and I started getting a bunch of leads, I need to make sure over time that those leads are 55 and over and own homes. That's kind of the key that we're looking for demographically. So a lead ad captures name, phone number, and email up front. Okay, so when someone clicks on it, they're basically going to submit email, full name, and phone number, and oftentimes that's already there, automated from their Facebook. So they're actually not having to do much other than click next to get what you're actually putting out there, whether it's like a PDF in this case, or it could be like, see all available 3+ bedroom family homes for sale in blank area, right? It could be any combination of home type and location, which is I want you to start thinking about for your size, because we have a really great ad called the downsizer ad right now that says basically downsize your home but not your lifestyle. Get a list of beautiful turnkey homes, less maintenance, no stairs, sent to you instantly. That's great for downsizers. For upsizers or right sizers, people like me with a bunch of kids that are going to need to like move up, you got to think about what that is in your market. What is that? Is that a 3+ bedroom family home for sale? Is that a home with a pool? There's so many ways to think about it. It could be see all available new construction in blank area. It could be homes with views. It could be a luxury homes list. I'm just giving you lots and lots of ideas. Townhomes, condominiums, anything you can think of what people are, I would say not just anybody, qualified buyers who are also potentially sellers. That's why right sizers and downsizers are the great ones we love to do to complement what everybody wants is listings, right? Everybody wants seller leads, which is where I come to this funnel. This one you'll find is a little bit unique and different. It's about capturing information dynamically. So whether we say if someone were to buy your home, would you sell it, find its value in the current market, or what's your home really worth, enter your address to receive your home value, you'll find with these, it's all about generating the lowest cost per click. Because if you have a CPC that's low, let's say I give Facebook $10 and I'm getting 10 clicks, that's $1 cost per click. Well, if I look at that law of averages on this particular ad, you'd see that on average, 50% of those clicks become a contact, but they could become an address. So if we're working that game and we knew that, okay, well, if on average 50% of my clicks, then I have $1 cost per click, then I'm basically averaging $2 addresses in that game. And then you'll see usually 1 to 2 to 1 and 3 also provide an email. So that's where automations shoot off. And that's why in the United States, at least, so many people within StreetText use integrations like HomeBot, because it's this amazing nurture tool that begins the moment an email submitted. And once you have an address and email, it's fair game, right? But you'll see in this funnel, the moment they click analyze my property, it's about submitting the address, followed up by the email, permission to be contacted. It's done dynamically. It begins talking about the condition of their home, age, updates, renovations, sell date, and then name and phone number in that order. So you're going to get a mixture of all types of leads, some with full, most with partial. You have to be looking on working all of the type of leads to really maximize this type of ad. Okay. So that's where we kind of have to have a conversation almost individually to see what you guys are really wanting to do. And obviously, if you have listings or open houses, that's going to flood the lead gates, okay? Especially if you have a desirable listing or open house, that's just the easiest way to generate leads all the time, because that's just what you always want to be marketing and advertising to find the type of buyers you're looking for. And we have those ad templates as well. But they're all tested and they're all showing you how easy it is to set up. And I'll show you some examples here shortly. But like we mentioned, launching a split test for results is pivotal for your success, okay? So what's next? We're going to tell you there's a lot of easy ways to learn how to do this. Like I'm giving you the 10,000 foot view, but if you want to go into more detail, it's a free StreetText course we have. It's jumping into our Facebook group and community. It's called the StreetText Insider Group. You are more than welcome right now to go find it and request access into it. It's really helpful. I mean, you'd be surprised with how many probably mutual friends you have in there. People that you probably know are doing or have experienced StreetText to some level. And the most important, how to convert these leads. Because the lead gen is not going to be the hard part for you, especially if you learn how to properly set up ads that are designed to open the floodgates. Okay. And we have to work with you on that. We have a Monday through Friday schedule. Always something available for you to learn. The most important one being the mastermind on Wednesdays. I cannot stress it enough. If you're going to learn, you need to be around people that are doing it well. People that have closed more than a deal. I'm talking about double-digit transactions with StreetText. In some cases, triple-digit over the time that they've been with us since 2015. Okay. You got to get around people who have actively converted Facebook specific leads for a long time and learn the tools that they're using, their scripts, their strategies, if they have ISAs or VAs, what integrations, things like HomeBot, Follow Up Boss, Lofty, I can go on and on, BombBomb, all these different tools to add in, because this is not just one thing. It's all the things you already have integrated into this picture to make it function the way you need it to function. So we have academy courses. We also have great courses for people that are actively like teachers and mentors and coaches in our community and moderators. So you can look at those inside your dashboard. Even right now, we have a help center. You basically search for almost anything to find answers to. The recordings, if you can't make it, and webinars we do. We have at least a couple events a year where we have 15 to 20 keynote speakers from all over the industry. People like Tristan Alamada, Krista Mayshore, and many, many big influencers in the real estate community, including in our own community, that kind of just share how to make this work, to make your business thrive. The plans that we have and offer are 3 months, 6 months, and a year. They start at $750. They go down to, well, I would say it's about $250 a month average, and it renews month to month, but you're paying up front for it. So $750 for 3 months, $1,200 for 6 months, $1,920 for the year. So you're averaging about $200 a month for that 6-month plan, and $160 a month for the full year. And they all renew month to month, but they can all also be upgraded. And the only other added cost would be adding in remarketing and retargeting, which I'll show you how that works shortly. That is an extra $100 a month. And then we do have an ad management program if you are looking to have it all done for you, but we'll speak about that more individually to see if that is even something that you would need. I really feel like most people can handle their own lead generation if they do it properly. But for some of you who are growing teams, or just time is of the essence and you don't have time to do any of that, we do have that service there for you as well. Okay, so I'm going to go quickly into a live account to show you some examples. I think it's important and powerful to see some of the hot ads that people are running right now. So here's one of my favorite. Looking to downsize your home but not your lifestyle, get a list of beautiful turnkey homes with a smaller footprint, no stairs and less maintenance sent to you instantly. What I love about ads like this, I have actually seen this same ad ran for almost a year without having to be touched. And it was generating a couple leads a day. I think it was something at like 700 plus leads by the time I saw it last. And I had over 100 social on it, a bunch of comments, amazing shares, because as you get social proof too, your algorithm can continue to be working in your favor. So the key though, and the reason why you don't immediately do this ad in a trial experience is because you need the ability to redirect them to those type of properties. So what I mean by that is it's called IDX, right? So if someone's gonna ask for a downsizing list, you need to be able to drive them immediately to all the downsizing properties in that area. And that sometimes you have. It's our automatic in KV Core. It's automatic in things like Lofty. Some people use things like Agent Fire or Real Geeks to do that, but some of you don't have that. And if you don't have that, it's going to be a hard, I would say, ask, because you're not really giving someone an experience. You don't want to drive them to a website or something like Realtor or Zillow. You don't, even your own website, because you don't want them to have to force register their information if they have already just given you name, phone number, and email. So just want you to think about that as we're going through some examples. The one I know you'll love, because it's a kind of a more dynamic variation of what you saw probably when you started trial, is this type of ad, but leveraging video. So this is just a Google Video Earth recording, and it's just a little bit more dynamic and inviting for someone to click, okay, in their newsfeed, especially as that map around that area that you guys work in is invisibility. So I just want to think about this for your own market, because you can kind of get a really good feel for it. But just remember, this is done dynamically rather than a lead ad capturing name, phone number, and email up front. So just a couple of my favorites. Now, one of the things that I wanted to acknowledge too is that we have something called ad bundles. And so ad bundles, and the easiest way I can help you identify it is going to be targeting every single person in your database. It's really just everyone that you know. And we're going to match up their Facebook and Instagram by pulling in it as a CSV. Okay. We're also going to be matching up anybody who's ever engaged. It's called custom engagement audience or page engagement. That's anyone who's ever engaged your Facebook business and Instagram. And we're going to run these ad bundles. And what ad bundles are is they're all bundled together, and they're designed to either rotate weekly or as often as daily, as little as $1 a day. So it's a very powerful strategy. And when you go to our launch ads experience, you're going to see that we have about 38 remarketing ad templates. Now, a lot of them are going to include a lot of your lead gen strategies, because no matter what, your database is always going to want to know around an updated home value. They're going to want to see what's, downsizing homes, or homes with pools, or luxury homes list, or your listings, or market reports. But you're going to put things like these educational guides in front of them. You're just bringing things of value, and you're letting it rotate as often as daily. So you're keeping yourself omnipresent. And then one of the things that you want to consider, obviously, is if you have video content, whether it's Insta or YouTube Shorts or Reels, especially the community stuff, which is just you talking, that's going to be something you want to keep front and center too. So you combine all these strategies and you effectively see just a phenomenal way to stay omnipresent, which is, being seen everywhere all the time. That's the whole key of remarketing and retargeting. Okay. So you also have a text message component and an email drip component. Okay. So all I can tell you is that we call her Julie. She automatically texts your leads, and you begin the conversation and then role play it. It stops automatically as they respond, but all customizable. And then the only other thing I would tell you to kind of start recognizing in terms of what you really want to do to maximize this is humanize things. I'm a big fan of leveraging video. I think it is not even, I think it's almost like a non-negotiable now. I wouldn't do lead generation of this type without it, based on what I've seen, and I've been here for a decade. Okay. So when I want you to succeed, I'm showing you examples of what I know agents do that are successful. Okay. And that's just making sure when someone submits an email that there you are. You know what I mean? When you have the ability to text, why not pull out your phone and send a video and introduce yourself? Okay. You can even set the tone like, hey, it's Marcus with Remax. I'm about to send you a video. Make sure everybody gets a chance to meet me. Just wanted to make sure you got that home value requested. Right? You know what I mean? Just keep it simple. Because at the end of the day, people nowadays, they see a lot of BS. And they're being solicited and marketed to all the time. So, you're basically building your lead generation in such a way where you're finding your tribe, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right people. Just like you can't say the right thing to the wrong people at the end of the day, right? People will naturally gravitate towards you, and you have to develop this model of education, service, and value, especially with the top of funnel, because they don't know you yet. And you're working that angle. And a lot of that comes down to just connecting with people and developing what we call the know, like, trust before, hey, come sell my home, or let's go buy something. I mean, now the truth is, with all these new laws, compliancy around text messaging, compliancy around emails, you know, the recent NAR change, you guys have to adapt. You're basically bringing buyers too, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. And then I'm just going to stop this recording real quick, and then we can get into a Q&A.